Hi folks, Carlton from the Pharmacy Seeds Network. Well, I was over at my parents the other day. We were having a conversation about water and water quality, and it reminded me that I haven't really done a video on water quality yet, and I've been meaning to for a long time. In my videos, I always try to include the most up-to-date information that I have as it is relevant to the video or the video topic. But I haven't really done any videos specifically on water, and so I wanted to get into that. And before you dismiss this, if you're not interested in hearing me babble on for a few minutes about it, go down below in the description and check out some of the links I'm going to put below. If you are interested, let's continue. Alright, so water. Normally we think of water as just water. Water is water. It's either clean or dirty, right? And it's either cold or hot. Those are pretty much the default states that we're used to. But water is actually far more complex than even modern science really accepts or recognizes yet. There's a lot of new research coming out regarding water, and I'm basically just going to make this video to give you sort of a place to launch your own research pathway, because it would take me probably 10 hours to go through all the stuff that I've discovered, and probably would not relay it as well as the scientists who are actually researching it. So a couple of links basically here. Dr. Masaru Emoto is a Japanese scientist who's been studying water. Specifically, he takes water droplets from different sources and freezes them, and then studies the crystalline patterns that they produce. And he's come up with some really interesting research regarding that. He's also done some experiments with rice and actually imprinting water with messages. So if you're not familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto and the memory of water, there's a documentary. I'll put a link in the description on it. I think it's about an hour and 20 minutes long. It's worth every moment of checking out. It's really interesting. Alright, so that's one part. Now there's another scientist, Dr. Gerald Pollack, and he's researching water and different types of water, more on a molecular scale. He's discovered something he calls easy water, or exclusion zone water, and it has to do with the difference between hygroscopic and hydroscopic surfaces, and the charge that actually those different surfaces put on the water, and how that affects the water, and that way that water acts, especially in living biological systems like our bodies and in plants and that sort of thing. Okay, so Dr. Gerald Pollack, check that out. He was also interviewed by John Kempf of Advancing Eco-Agriculture. I will put a link to that one in as well. That is also an excellent discussion about water, certainly more on the aspect of how it pertains to agriculture, but very beneficial also. Also, John Kempf did a speech in 2018 Northeastern Organic Farmers Association of Massachusetts annual Soil Nutrition Conference. In part 2 of that, he discusses specifically using water types that are far more efficient at using anything you're adding to water, whether it's soap, foliar feeds, pesticides. Those of you who watch my channel know I don't approve of using pesticides on food, but nonetheless, this has tremendous potential to reduce pesticide usage. If our farmers just knew this, they could use somewhere between 10 and 15% of the pesticides that they use current today. So there's that. Okay, so I can't think of some of the other scientists off the top of my head, but there are other scientists who are also studying magnetics and diamagnetics and how that affects water. Oh, yes, and there was a scientist from Austria, I think he was late 1800s, early 1900s, somewhere in there, Victor Schauberger. This guy developed some really interesting technology, and some of it we still don't understand today, and from my understanding, we can't even get the patents for some of the machinery that he developed based on understanding water and how water flows. So I'll put a link to the documentary for that in the description as well. And I think there are several other pieces of information regarding water that you should be aware of. Water really is way, way, way more complex than we recognize it to be or give it credit for. So I'm not going to babble on all night, but I'm going to put a bunch of links down here. This is sort of a research mount point, and in fact maybe I'll make a whole new playlist on my channel here that we'll call research mount points or something like that, because there's lots of things like this that are topics that I kind of touch on, but they go very, very deep. And if you really want to know more about them, you should go and research them yourself. I always encourage people to go and research your own information. If you disagree with me, that's fine. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear you cite sources as to why you disagree, and we could certainly have a discussion about it. I'm open-minded, and I'm always looking to learn more, and I think that's a good practice, especially as science and technology develops at the rapid pace that it is. I hope you found this interesting or informative. If you like it, hit the like button if you want. If you want to subscribe, do that. And if you want notifications all the time, you know, hit the bell button. Thanks for watching the Pharmacy Seeds Network. We'll see you next time.